Hong Kong the destination of choice?
Maybe I'll start, but I think there's several reasons why this is happening. Hong Kong's traditional role within the financial system, and any major financial hub, there is sanctions evasion happening. Hong Kong is a critical hub for the Asia-Pacific region. A unique aspect of Hong Kong is that the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to the US dollar. So this creates opportunities to maneuver within the Hong Kong financial system. And then the way that offshore dollar clearing works in Hong Kong allows the activity that may be taking place in the Hong Kong as well as the Chinese financial sector to re-enter into our system through offshore dollar clearing. So there's a lot of different reasons why Hong Kong is a good place to also set up shop. They have pretty lax business operations and permissible business environments. And then you couple that with China's highly opaque financial system, it creates a space where it's pretty easy to eventually hide who owns a company and who you're moving money for.
The agreement when Great Britain handed over Hong Kong, I guess that Hong Kong was supposed to be semi-autonomous, right? The Chinese broke that. Would it be fair to say that every day the CCP is deeper and deeper embedded into Hong Kong, or are they already there and they're super embedded in, or is it still somewhat not completely assimilated, or it's really on its way to get assimilated completely?
Thank you for the question. I would say, once as you may know, since a lot of political prisoners right now in Hong Kong, and then since we lost the political autonomy, and that's why the Beijing can actually completely control also the economic autonomy of Hong Kong. And then even though we witness perhaps American or even European capital going into Hong Kong, but that doesn't mean that actually Hong Kong is still remain economically autonomous. However, we see Xi Jinping has been trying very hard to integrate and absorb or assimilate Hong Kong into the so-called Greater Bay Area sub-state initiative, especially when the CCP right now is trying to build a more robust financial ecosystem. They use Hong Kong as the major weapon and then to do so. So Hong Kong right now is really, economically speaking, has been completely absorbed by China, and they are obligated to use their financial resources to serve the CCP interests in that sense.
Two or four questions, I think. The Western companies that are shipping to these other companies, say to Hong Kong, is there like a wink and a nod? Do they really know that they're shipping to? It's really they're shipping this stuff to evade sanctions and shipping it to Russia. We know it's going to go to Russia. We know it's going to go to China. But you're telling us it's going to go to Tahiti, right? So, are companies complicit in what's going on?
Yeah. So, neither the U.S. nor Hong Kong make their customs records particularly open. Interestingly, and probably counterintuitively, Russia does. So a lot of what we have hard facts on is Hong Kong shipping U.S. goods to Russia. Now, with that said, we do have enough information to say that most likely most of these goods are not being shipped directly from the United States to Hong Kong. We're not seeing purchase orders for American-made ships shipped to Hong Kong. We think, by and large, they're going through third, or really, I guess you're talking about fourth countries now. So the Eurasian countries, so the Kazakhstans of the world, have become a big part of this. The Emirates and places like that as well, where you're seeing a lot of transshipment through. Now, with respect
so
to
a company here sends something to Emirates then we
or
back
Kazakhstan or to somewhere where they're permitted to do that. We don't have that much insight into confidential company information about exactly what sort of due diligence they're doing. Now, if they have knowledge under the law, they are breaking the law if this gets to Russia. Now, companies, there's some wiggle room there. And so in their mind, the less diligence they do, the better. The question then is for enforcement. Is enforcement letting them get away with that? And we think they are in a lot of cases. And we have encouraged.
Remember the question was, did they know that eventually it was going to get there? It's just a wink and a nod. Yeah, I'm sending it over there.
It depends on the company,
over there, and then eventually get to there, which we know is our final customer. And we're evading everything. That we're participating in this. Are American companies, Western companies, participating in this?
I think the answer would, by and large, be yes. They don't know exactly how it's going to get there. They don't know which particular shipments are going to get there, but they are not doing anywhere near enough to cut down. We would like to see some of these companies, particularly some of the bigger tech companies, do more, such as sending over teams to audit and look at their distributors, to have things in their contracts with their distributors and with their buyers to ensure that they can do that. There's a lot more that these companies can and should be doing. We'd like to see enforcers put more pressure on these companies through investigations, through demanding and saying that even if you didn't have actual knowledge, you're burying your head in the sand to try to avoid having actual knowledge that some of this is happening.
My final question is about shipment itself. Do the shippers have a responsibility to know what it is that they're shipping to who?
Under the law, it is a knowledge standard, but typically what we're seeing is we're not seeing much in the way of enforcement around saying you need to do more
I'm not talking
due
about,
diligence.
I'm talking about law, period, okay? Do the shippers have a responsibility to know what they're shipping to who?
It's a little bit more complicated. They have a knowledge standard under the law.
Yeah.
Knowledge, in layman's terms, it's very clear, right? Under the law, though, it has some flexibility. It often means know or should have known. And that's the key. Right now, in most cases, we're treating it as did you actually know? There is a perfectly reasonable interpretation of the law that should have known justifies enforcement as well. And we'd like to see that.
Well, if they have a package supposed to be full of ping pong balls, and it weighs 40 pounds, well, it's not full of ping pong balls, right? So my final thing is, do you have, or are there certain shippers that are more likely to be engaged in this than others? I mean, you said there's a number of shipping lines, okay, well-known shipping lines. Do you know who they are, and is it a certain number, or they're all involved in this, in the sector?
We have certain names of shipping lines in Hong Kong that we provide to BIS, that we have in our report here that we'd like to see sanctioned and have not yet been sanctioned. A lot of times what you see in customs records, these shipping lines know what they're shipping. That's the thing, because they put it into the Russian customs records. They say, name of the shipping line on behalf of so-and-so company. They fill out and they say it's Intel parts, it's NVIDIA parts. They know. They're not.
So the Russians actually put it in there. Hey, we got some NVIDIA parts.
The shipping companies are putting it in there.
Okay.
So these are.
So they actually do know.
They do know. These are Hong Kong-based shipping companies that are taking care of